Oppo Mirror 3 review. Shoot in the dark with confidence. One of the most wanted features in a smartphone is a good camera. We get umpteen requests from our readers asking us to recommend a phone under Rs 20,000 which can take great photos. While there are phones with sensors that can capture good images in daylight, almost all of them produce subpar images in low-light situations. Oppo believes it has the answer to this common problem with its latest mid-range smartphone, the Oppo Mirror 3. Oppo has fitted the Mirror 3 with an 8-megapixel camera which uses a backside-illuminated (BSI) Sony IMX179 sensor, which is touted to have great performance in low light. On the other hand, at least on paper, the rest of the Oppo Mirror 3's specifications look slightly underwhelming for its price. We've spent some time with the device to find out if the performance of its camera is enough to warrant a purchase. Look and feel. We really like Oppo's finesse and attention to detail when making smartphones. The Mirror 3 might not have a very different design from any other cardbar phone, but it does look and feel premium for its price. Most importantly, it is a refreshingly small phone considering we've been using a lot of smartphones with 5-inch or larger screens. We could easily pull it out of a pocket and start using it with one hand. The fact that the rear is curved ever so slightly makes it more comfortable to hold. The Oppo Mirror 3 has compact dimensions of 137.7 x 68.8 x 8.9 mm, and weighs a comfortable 130 grams. The body is made entirely of plastic, but it feels sturdy on the whole, although the power button and volume rocker on the right are made using cheap plastic. Pressing the buttons gave us the feeling that they would break, thanks to their distinct clicky sound. The micro USB port and a microphone for phone calls are on the bottom of the phone. On the other hand, the top houses the 3.5mm audio port, another microphone for recording sound during video capture, and an infrared emitter. Below the screen is a row of capacitive buttons, used to navigate through the operating system. The earpiece, cut out for the ambient light sensor, and front camera are above the screen. The rear cover has a texture look, but it is covered in a coat of gloss and so feels smooth to touch. The camera and flash have metallic rings around them. Also, there are 7 machine-drilled holes on the bottom for the speaker. The rear cover conceals the battery compartment, 2 micro SIM card slots, and the micro SD card slot. Specifications and software. As we stated before, the Oppo Mirror 3 doesn't have class-leading specs. There is a 1.2 GHz quad-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 410 SoC with Adreno 306 graphics under the hood. There is also 1 GB of RAM and 8 GB of internal storage. 8 GB might feel like very little space, but you can expand it by up to 128 GB using a micro SD card. Furthermore, the Mirror 3 can also act as a USB host through its micro USB port. These specifications are underwhelming because other phones that cost much less also use the Snapdragon 410 SoC, and 2 GB of RAM has pretty much become the norm these days. The Mirror 3's 8-megapixel main camera has an f/2.0 aperture, 5p lens and blue light filter. The secondary 5-megapixel camera on the front can be used to capture selfies. Only 1 SIM card can be used to connect to a 3G network. Other connectivity options include infrared, Bluetooth 4.0, and Wi-Fi /B/Gram/N. The phone has a 2000 mAh battery providing the juice for it to function. The 4.7-inch IPS LCD panel has a resolution of 720 x 1280 translating to a pixel density of 312 ppi. There is a layer of Corning's Gorilla Glass 3 on top of the screen to protect it. The display is bright and adequately saturated with colors. Even the viewing angles and legibility under direct sunlight are good. Oppo has rarely disappointed us with the displays on its phones. That said, some might argue that the display specifications are below average when compared with other similarly priced phones. Oppo slaps its homegrown ColorOS 2.0 skin on top of Android 4.44 KitKat. Not running Lollipop out of the box is a negative for the Mirror 3. ColorOS 2.0 is a polished, clean, and light skin, but it doesn't look anything like stock Android. There are a few tweaks and tricks that add some value, though these are not exclusive to ColorOS 2.0. For example, we really liked that we could monitor the speed of our 3G connection in the status bar. Even the gesture and motion tricks work well for most part. Oppo also allows users to tweak themes according to their preferences. The Camera app is feature-rich and modes are available within the app, which can be added or removed as per your preferences. Regular suspects such as HDR, Panorama, and Expert mode are present. However, there were also more unique and exciting ones, such as Colorful Night, Double Exposure, and GIF. Colorful Night mode enhances colors to make photos taken in low-light situations look richer. Double Exposure allows you to shoot two images and superimpose one on top of the other to create an artistic effect. GIF mode, for those who have been living under a rock, basically creates a moving picture. Our sample images in regular light conditions had good amounts of detail and didn't look pixelated at all. However, the overall tone was a little too warm for our liking. You will need to use HDR to prevent images from being overexposed. Tip: contrary to popular belief, you will get better photos from under shadows than in harsh sunlight. The BSI sensor shows off its prowess in low-light situations and we really got some very impressive shots. There is a perceptible amount of noise but it is not as bad as other smartphone cameras. In fact, the low-light performance of the camera is on par with that of the Huawei Honor 6 Plus, review pictures, and that is saying a lot. The 5-megapixel front camera does a very good job of capturing selfies, even without the beautify effect applied. 1080p video captured by the camera was, on the other hand, a letdown, primarily because even in sufficient light a lot of areas were underexposed. Performance-wise we have no complaints, but the Mirror 3 is far from a powerhouse. It does basic tasks well but struggles the moment you throw anything intensive at it, such as graphically rich games like Asphalt 8. Po_mirror_3_right_ndtv.jpg in the Antutu and GFX spec tests, the Mirror 3 scored 19,840 and 10,974 respectively, which are slightly lower than some other smartphones we've tested in the past with the same SoC. The graphics benchmark test 3D Mark Ice Storm returned a score of 5,236, whereas the phone achieved 9.5 FPS in GFX spec. The Mirror 3 played all the videos we there at it, including our most heavily encoded 40 Mbps sample footage. The speaker is adequately loud and the bundled earphones will more than suffice for normal usage. The quality of sound in phone calls is pretty good, and we didn't face any call drops either. The battery lasted 8 hours and 1 minute in our video loop battery test, which is surprisingly decent for a phone with a 2000 mAh battery. Verdict: the Oppo Mirror 3 is priced at Rs 16,990, which is slightly steep for what it offers. However, the primary camera shoots great low-light shots, which could be a great selling point for many buyers. Buy this only if you want to use your smartphone to capture photographs, or if you get a kick out of using your phone as an infrared remote control for all your electronic appliances.